you, I'm out.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Benny. Breaking news here. You can't keep a good man down, but hell, people are trying. Project Veritas is now suing James O'Keefe. Sort of similar to the Tucker Carlson Fox News situation, right? Like, I must destroy that for which I have created. Now, check it out. Ladies and gentlemen, Project Veritas files suit against ousted founder James O'Keefe. This breaking literally seconds ago. Why the hell and how the hell are they suing James O'Keefe? Well, the suit claims that O'Keefe must be held accountable for the organization he created. Huh? What does that mean? Project Veritas suing O'Keefe to stop him from doing undercover journalism. Seems to me like this is trying to get rid of the competition. Let's read. Project Veritas, undercover journalist organization suing James O'Keefe. Project Veritas is asking the federal judge to stop O'Keefe from working as a journalist. While Project Veritas is not paying O'Keefe, that's strange. They argue in a lawsuit that he shouldn't be allowed to work at his company, and it should be shut down. His company is called OMG Media, the O'Keefe Media Group. Being known as the founder of an organization doesn't entitle that person to run amok and put his own interests ahead of the organization, the lawsuit states. Defendant O'Keefe failed in his duties to plaintiff Project Veritas, causing it serious, significant damage. O'Keefe must be held accountable, and the organization O'Keefe created, Defendant Transparency LLC O'Keefe Media Group, for subordinating these violations. Similarly, two individuals associated with the plaintiffs, blah, blah, blah. The lawsuit cites the employment agreement as the basis of the lawsuit. June 2010, O'Keefe entered into an employment agreement with Project Veritas, with the operative version being an employment agreement amended September 2022. O'Keefe and Project Veritas signed on September 2022. As part of the employment agreement, O'Keefe agreed to certain terms and conditions, both during and after his term of employment. The employment agreement, O'Keefe agreed that he identified as the employee thereunder shall devote employees' full working time and attention to the best efforts and performance of employee's job. But O'Keefe was suspended in February as the CEO of Project Veritas. He made a whole video about it. He said they stopped paying him and they kicked him off. They kicked him out.
Even so, as a former board member told me 10 years ago, Project Veritas will never be stopped from the outside. It will only be because we stopped ourselves, right? I'll get to that too in a minute. Prophetic as it may be, that is exactly where we find ourselves in the situation today. A situation where I've been stripped of my authority as CEO and removed from the board of directors. I bet you didn't know that. I'll get to that in a minute. Contrary to...
Okay, so you remove him from all of his positions, you kick him off the board of directors, you treat him like a dog, and then when he goes out and does his own thing that might take away from Project Veritas's thing, well, then you try and kill that thing. This is dirty, man. This seems dirty. Dirty. We're mentioned in this article, and James O'Keefe is getting, I think, a lot of love online right now. This person, is she affiliated with Project Veritas? It doesn't look like it. She tweeted, Project Veritas filed a complaint against James O'Keefe in federal court. It contains 12 causes of action, including breach of fiduciary duty. You can find all 37 pages in this thread. Now, I got to tell you that every employer knows that it's really hard to uphold NDAs. And so you can see, if you feel interested in reading this, go for it. I've showed you the account and so on. You can go ahead and see everything that they cite here that James O'Keefe, did wrong. Here it mentions that James O'Keefe went on Mark Levin's show and said he was ousted from Project Veritas by the board of directors. But wasn't he? This whole thing is so incredibly confusing. It continues on and on and on. Page 33, page 37. Hot damn, man. Jeez. So they want a jury trial to try and bury James. Dirty, dirty tactics. Project Veritas is suing its founder. They claim that they never fired James O'Keefe and that he's in violation of his employment agreement by starting a new company, despite the fact that Project Veritas stopped paying him. Project Veritas is asking a federal judge to prevent James O'Keefe from working, despite not paying James, argue that the lawsuit that James should not be allowed to work. and his company shut down. This is an interesting thread. Termination. When Project Veritas stopped paying James O'Keefe, they violated both his employment agreement, federal and state labor laws. This created a hostile work environment and constituted to constructive termination. This is a violation of both federal and New York state law not to pay an employee. Project Veritas claims the lawsuit that James O'Keefe was never fired. They stopped paying him. As a result, he's owed various duties and loyalty. Somebody needs to call. They're saying that this is going to backfire. I do know James. I'm not shy of my connection to James. We were the first people to tweet out James's video here from Project Veritas, 44 minutes. Feel free to go watch it. But this was a huge, huge deal to try and silence James. We find it very curious that this happened as soon as James dropped a bombshell Pfizer story. Same thing as with Tucker Carlson. We find it very curious that Tucker Carlson's firing comes right after his January 6th expose. It's almost like there's things and powers that you're not allowed to criticize in this country or do actual journalism on. Otherwise, they will crush you. Now, Fox News is trying to do the same thing to Tucker Carlson. Fox News is trying to hold Tucker Carlson into some type of employment contract and sideline him, trying to effectively take away Tucker's ability to do his own show. And now that's what's happening to James. The suit filed in New York claims that O'Keefe has alleged financial misdoings against Project Veritas. Being known as the founder in the organization does not entitle that person to run amok and put his own interests ahead of the organization. Is this like them talking about James O'Keefe's dance parties? You ever seen those? I've seen them. Been backstage while they're going on, right? At various events we're both speaking at. James goes out, he dances, tells the Project Veritas story, whatever. Who cares? It's entertainment. It's what people do. Didn't they say that he like spent money on sandwiches or something? And he like bought Ubers? Oh, okay, got it. Bought too many Ubers, taking down Pfizer. The suit claims that O'Keefe must be held accountable to the organization he created. Well, you're not paying him. It's not like he's starting this out from under you. You pretty publicly fired him. I mean, yo, this is crazy. It's really like, it really feels like this is exactly what they're trying, what Fox News is trying to do with Tucker. It's the same thing. It's very similar. James launched his new O'Keefe Media Group with a classic James flair. This is the group they're trying to take down. And, I mean, I'm just going to call balls and strikes here. Is this the way that Project Veritas wanted the donors at Project Veritas wanted their money to be used? The suing of James O'Keefe? Because this stuff costs a lot of money. Putting legal documents together like this, you know how much money this costs? To have a lawyer write this? To have a lawyer sit and work through this paperwork? My God, I mean, it's like there's hundreds of thousands of dollars just to file this lawsuit. Project Veritas has good lawyers. I mean, that I do know. But dude, like, there smacks of them trying to shut down the competition, and this has smacks of an absolute desperation play and panic time. This is what they're trying to shut down.
The irony of the Acorn story is that it took a 25-year-old with a hidden camera a few days to do what billion-dollar networks and journalists could not do in a decade. I spent 14 years creating the most effective nonprofit newsroom this country has ever seen. And in paving the way to establish citizen journalism, I have been defamed, arrested, raided, and ultimately removed from the organization I spent so much time developing credibility of. I always knew they would try to ruin the reputations of those who expose them, the pharma giants, the three-letter government agencies, and those who I thought I could trust. But in response, we are going to build an army of investigators and exposers. They have awakened a sleeping giant. I'm back. Remaining by my side are a small, tight-knit group of the most elite journalists in the world. Exposing corruption requires standing up to power, because power hates sunlight. We are sunlight. Welcome to the O'Keefe Media Group, where we will never be shut down. Because not only do I own it, but you own it too. Support us and sponsor our army of journalists by becoming a founding member today.